Students, welcome to the online video teaching from Shri Shankaracharya Vidyalaya. Hope you are all well in your high spirits and good health. Today we are going to study about the chapter 1, that is economics, the story of village Palampur. This is the video about the Palampur's land distribution system. We have read earlier about the village, about the introduction, about the overview of the village. We have read about the organization of production. We have read about the farming type or the farming concept in Palampur. We have read about the land concept, that is there in a way one can grow more from the same land, that is surplus productions, how to do with the modern farmings and multiple cropping. We have done about the using of the HYV seeds, that is after the Green Revolution from 1960s, that is introduced by the Indian farmers mainly in Punjab. And we have read about the land sustainability. So today, using the chemical fertilizers and all, and how the water gets polluted over there. Today we are going to read about how is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur. So let us see what it contains. So here is a picture given about the land distribution system of Palampur. So land is fixed and the farming is the production activity in Palampur, is the main production activity that we have discussed earlier also. 75% of the working people are dependent on the farming for their livelihood. Since 1960 in Palampur, there has been no expansion in land area under cultivation. So there exists no further scope to increase the farm production by bringing new land under cultivation. So land is fixed, that is the concept we have read earlier. Now 1/3 of the 450 families are landless in Palampur. 240 families cultivate small plots of land, that is 2 hectares in size, and remaining 60 families cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. They belong to the large farmers. So large farmers, medium farmers and small farmers, that is and also the landless ones. So this is one of the pick of the land distribution system. We have the different concept, that is plowing by the blocks, that is the small farmers what they do. These are some of the landless ones. These are the medium farmers and the large farmers using the tractors. The large productions also by the medium and the large farmers using the seeds and the HYV seeds. And the traditional method, that is what we call the traditional method, and cultivation by the modern methods, and cutting of the crops also by the modern techniques. So here in this picture we can see that the distribution of cultivated area and the farmers. This is the cultivated area, this is the small farmers less than 2 hectares, and 20% the number of farmers, that is medium, and the large farmers, that is more than 2 hectares of land. This is the one of the pie chart that is given for the farmers regarding the large and small farmers. So this is the type distribution of the cultivated land. We can see we have an explanation against this. So how it is explained? The large number of small plots scattered around the village. In this village you can see like this, it is scattered, and these are cultivated by the small farmers. On the other hand, more than the half of the area of the village is covered by plots that are quite large in size. These are the large size ones, these are the small ones. So in Palampur, there are 60 families of medium and the large farmers who cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. A few of the small large farmers have land extending over the 10 hectares or more. Now, who will provide the labor? Here comes the question, who is going to provide the labor? That is, after land, labor is the necessary or the next necessary factor for production. So, farming requires a great deal of hard work, and without laborers, that is impossible thing to go for the farming, both for the small farmers and the large farmers. So, small farmers along with the families cultivate their own fields, thus they provide the labor required for the farming themselves, and medium and large farmers hire the farm laborers to work on their fields. The farm laborers come either from landless families or families cultivating small plots of land. Unlike farmers, farm laborers do not have the right over the crops grown on the land. Instead, they are paid wages. So, what they are paid? They are working for the field and they are paid the wages. These wages can be in cash or in kind. The wages vary from region to region, crop to crop, and one farm activity to another, like sowing and harvesting. During the harvesting and sowing time, the farm activities are more, and rest of the time it is less. So, in that way, the wages are also been calculated. So, we are having one example over here. Farm labor might be employed on daily basis or on particular farm activity like harvesting, or for the whole year, okay, or for the whole year. Now, we have an example over here. We are giving the story of a landless farm labor called Dala, who works on daily wage in Palampur for the whole year. The minimum wages for the farm laborers set by the government is rupees 300 per day, but Dala gets rupees 160 per day. Because there is a heavy competition for work among the farm laborers in Palampur, so there is a very less chances to get the work, and people agree to work for lower wages because they don't have any alternatives to get more work or work somewhere else. So whatever wages they are getting, they know they are exploited because they are getting very less than what has been set by the government for daily basis wages. They are getting too less from them, but still they are been obeyed for they are giving their consent for working over the fields. So we have one picture over here between the farmer stalks. That is a pic from your book. Now, the capital needed in farming. What is the capital? If we call the capital needed in the farming is that we already know, or we are already seen that the modern farming methods require a great deal of capital, because in modern techniques we have seen we need special seeds for it, we need lot of fertilizers, we need insecticides, we need pesticides, we need a lot of irrigation facilities for it, because surplus water is required for it. So all this, much of the labors are required. So all this altogether cost a lot. So huge capital is required in method of modern farming, and small farmers have a lack of capital. So what they do, they borrow money from large farmers and money lenders at higher rate of interest. And there are three types of capital which are mostly used in any organization, that is the working capital, fixed capital, and human interest. We have read about the earlier about what is working capital, what is fixed capital, and what is human capital. So here we are supposed to say that the rate of interest on loans that is being taken from the money lenders or the traders, or those who supply various imports for cultivation by the small farmers, they give the rate of interest on such loans is very high. They are supposed to put to great distress to repay the loans. So we have an example of her with the book also. Savita is a small farmer. She plans to cultivate wheat on her 1 hectare of land. Besides seeds, fertilizer and pesticides, she needs cash to buy the water and repair her farm instruments. Then she estimates that the working capital should be at least minimum 3,000. She doesn't have that money, so she decides to borrow from Tejpal Singh, a large farmer. Tejpal Singh agrees to give Savita a loan at the interest rate of 24% for 4 months, which is a very high rate of interest. Savita also had to promise to work on his field as the farm labor during the harvest season at the rupees 100 per day. So as we know till this, the wage is very low. I've just said the wage as per the government decision that has been taken for per day wage, it is too low, that we can say that the wage is too low. So Savita knows that she will have to work very hard to compete the harvesting on her own field. Then work as a farm laborer for Tejpal Singh. The harvest time is very busy time. As mother of 3 children, she has a lot of household responsibilities too by that time. And Savita agrees to do this tough competition as he knows the getting loan is difficult for a small farmer. So all these difficulties are being borne by a farmer, that is representing the farmers of rural areas through the farmers of Palampur. And what they face, the small farmers, they are having a tough time to compete with the survival. So selling of the surplus or farm products, now we are going to discuss what it is. Let us suppose that the farmers have produced wheat on their lands using the 3 factors of production. Now the wheat is harvested and production is complete. What do the farmers do with the wheat? They will retain a part of the wheat for the family's consumption. That is what is required for the family. That part is taken or stored, and the rest, that is will be the sale, that is the surplus part. The sale the surplus wheat. The small farmers like Savita just now which gave the example and Govind's son have little surplus wheat because their total production is small and their household members are also more. So in these conditions they have a very little less left out to make their selling as economic production, as a economy to sell the surplus. So it is the medium and the large farmers who supply the wheat to the market. Let us see a picture to understand this. Farmers produce crops on their lands by using 3 factors, that is production, land, labor and capital. They retain part of the produce of self-consumption and sell the surplus nearby. Just now what we said, the small farmers, they have production and the land is also small. They are not hiring the labor and their capital is also very less. They are the family members are also, they have a big family members are also large. So self-consumption, after self-consumption they are left with a very less surplus of the amount to sell in the nearby markets. But it is not the case of the medium or the large farmers. Those who have the surplus, they automatically sell in the market. So sale of surplus by the farm products, small farmers have little surplus wheat because their total production is small, and from this substantial share is kept for their own family needs. So it is the medium and the large farmers who supply the wheat to the market. It seems that those farmers, those who are rich, medium or the large farmers, they only have a gain in economy through this surplus farm products, because the small farmers is always in debt or in want. So this is all about the today's lecture and videos. So we will come up with our next videos, that is non-farm activities, in the next session. Okay, thank you.